like the fight. I think Canelo has one way to win it. Crawford has three ways to win it.
So would that mean that you make Terence a favourite?
I ain't gonna say the favorite, but Canelo got one way to win it. If he does that one thing, it nullifies everything. If he don't, then boy gonna beat him.
Will Canelo's size advantage be the difference? Will Terence's slick skills pay dividends? Will the size be too much? Will Canelo's performance against William Skull raise more doubts? What do you make?
It's a tough one to pick because Canelo's big, strong, but lately Canelo hasn't really gone for the knockout. He doesn't really try to knock his opponents out.
When legends, trainers, and fighters gather to talk about a matchup as historic as Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Spud Crawford, the energy shifts. This isn't just another super fight. It's two generational talents collide, each with their own legacy, strengths, and vulnerabilities. What makes this bout even more compelling is the split in opinion. Some see it as a true 50-50 clash. Others, like Roy Jones Jr., insist that Crawford's versatility gives him far more ways to win. What follows is a deep dive into how the boxing world has broken this fight down, with voices like Danny Jacobs, Roy Jones Jr., Ade Oladipo, Andy Lee, Robert Garcia, and Bernard Hopkins weighing in. By dissecting their perspectives, a clearer picture emerges. While Canelo is iconic, Crawford's adaptability, mentality, and skill set suggest he might control this fight in ways many aren't fully prepared for.
In him, he's a dog, he's a beast, and he's out to prove something too, so I'm excited about this fight.
Danny Jacobs began by painting Crawford as a dog, a beast, someone fighting not just with talent, but with hunger and something to prove. That description matters because boxing at the elite level isn't just about mechanics. It's about mindset. A fighter who feels disrespected or overlooked often carries a sharper edge into the ring, and Crawford has always thrived in proving doubters wrong.
Canelo obviously is self-explanatory. There's really no need to go down the rabbit hole when it comes to him, but I do see this being as a 50-50 fight. But if I was a betting man, I would bet on Crawford.
Jacobs then turned to Canelo, calling him self-explanatory. That phrase is telling. Canelo's greatness is unquestionable, his resume stacked, his place in history secure. But Jacobs quickly shifted the tone by labeling the fight 50-50 before admitting that if he had a bet, he'd bet on Crawford. Why? Because Canelo's greatness is already cemented, while Crawford's hunger burns hotter.
But also, too, you can't count Canelo out. I mean, would go in, I'm assuming, as the favorite, which is rightfully so.
In Jacobs' follow-up, he acknowledged that you can never count Canelo out. He will rightly enter as the favorite, carrying size, experience, and reputation. But Jacobs highlighted a flaw that has followed Canelo throughout his career. He fights in spurts.
Canelo, which I've always said is an amazing, legendary fighter, but he fights in spurts. So sometimes it takes for the opponent to actually initialize him giving the best.
This habit matters because it leaves gaps. Canelo often pauses, waits, and relies on his opponent to initiate before he counters. Against fighters who don't crumble under pressure, those pauses become dangerous. Crawford, with his ability to switch gears mid-fight and dictate pace, can exploit these moments ruthlessly.
I like the fight. I think Canelo has one way to win it. Crawford has three ways to win it.
Then came Roy Jones Jr., and his perspective was surgical. He stated flatly, Canelo has one way to win. Crawford has three. This assessment goes deeper than just counting strategies. For Jones, Canelo's path revolves around pressure, power, and hoping his size advantage overwhelms Crawford. If he can corner Crawford and force exchanges, he can nullify Bud's slickness. But that's it, one lane.
So would that mean that you make Terence a favourite?
I ain't gonna say the favorite, but Canelo got one way to win it. If he does that one thing, it nullifies everything. If he don't, then boy gonna beat him.
Crawford, on the other hand, can outbox Canelo from range, frustrate him with movement and angles, or step inside to counter in combinations. Jones didn't hesitate. If Canelo doesn't execute his one plan perfectly, Crawford's multiplicity of options will dismantle him.
With boxing, you gotta expect the unexpected, at times. So we here now. I'm excited.
Crawford spoke. His words were calm but chilling. He reminded everyone that boxing is about expecting the unexpected, acknowledging the danger of surprises while embracing his own destiny. He didn't posture or trash talk. Instead, he focused on the goal, becoming a three-time undisputed champion.
Go out there and do my thing and become the three-time undisputed champion of the world.
This mentality matters. Crawford isn't walking into the ring to test himself. He's walking in to fulfill a mission. His track record shows he thrives in defining moments. Every time the world doubted him, he elevated. Every time he was expected to falter, he dominated. That psychological edge is often underestimated.
I was nervous on stage. I don't know why I did that, but I did it. And he said, no, you're great. He said, I've been watching you for a while. You're great. Your energy did it. And I was like, oh my God, that's it. Done. Retire. That being said,
Ade Oladipo entered the conversation by pushing back on Max Kellerman's statement that Crawford should automatically be considered pound-for-pound number one. He argued that while Crawford is brilliant, fighters like Usyk deserve the top spot because of activity and risk-taking. Yet in the same breath, he made a crucial point. Canelo once was the pound-for-pound king, but Crawford may be the one who currently holds that invisible crown.
It's all subjective, isn't it? It's who you like. But you're going to have to do some real convincing to convince me, or some real selling, to convince me that Crawford is above Usyk.
Oladipo highlighted something few talk about: wear and tear. Canelo, despite being younger biologically, has fought a longer, more grueling career. Crawford, though older in age, is fresher in terms of damage absorbed. That distinction is vital.
Like, Fury is a very, very skillful heavyweight. AJ is a very, very good heavyweight. Dubois is a very, very good heavyweight. So it's not like Usyk's beating Arslan Bekmambetov, who's a big guy, but ultimately not skilled, or fucking the giant Valley Whip.
Oladipo continued by questioning how some fans inflate certain Crawford wins. He noted that while moving up to beat a champion like Jermall Charlo was impressive, it wasn't the same as beating the true number one in that division. His broader point was about context. Every win needs to be placed in perspective.
He's actually beaten very, very skillful guys, very, very good guys. Like at the time of beating Fury must have been, I don't know if they have heavyweights, or if the Americans had Fury as a top 10, but Fury must have been a top 10 pound for pounder. Like, Fury really good.
Yet even within that critique, Oladipo reinforced Crawford's grace. He admitted that despite the nitpicking, Crawford is incredible. His skills, resume, and dominance can't be dismissed. The only reason debates even exist is because he's already reached such rarefied air.
Take a winner. I'm just excited for the great fight that it's going to be. You know, we have had some great fights.
Andy Lee admits he cannot pick a winner, and that statement alone carries weight. Coming from a respected fighter and analyst, his indecision reflects the razor-thin margins that define this matchup. Both Canelo and Crawford have been in unforgettable battles, but Lee highlights Crawford's past wars against Sean Porter and Jose Benavidez as indicators of the grit and excitement he brings.
And Crawford and Canelo have been in some of the great fights. You know, Crawford against Porter, I think that's one of the best fights. Crawford against Benavidez, that's one of my favorite fights as well.
What Lee is indirectly pointing out is Crawford's ability to rise in fights that demand everything. Porter was a pressure fighter, one of the roughest in the division, and Crawford didn't just edge past him, he stopped him. Benavidez, meanwhile, was long, sharp, and confident, yet Crawford dismantled him with patience and precision.
Terence maybe planting his feet a little bit more.
Well, I can see I think he'll have to. One thing about him is, I mean, you can see he's, well, for want of a better word, he's no bitch.
In his second remark, Andy Lee observes that Crawford might plant his feet more in this fight, and he stresses one key point. Crawford is no pushover, no soft fighter, and will demand respect inside the ring. This is crucial analysis because one of Canelo's biggest advantages historically has been intimidation.
He's going to want to get his respect in there. I can't pick it because they're just two great fighters, and I'm just happy to see it happening.
Many fighters enter the ring already second-guessing themselves, wary of Canelo's counterpunching and his sheer presence. Lee is saying that Crawford will not be that guy. Planting his feet means Crawford is willing to trade, not just evade, which suggests he will meet Canelo head-on when necessary.
You know, with boxing, you got to expect the unexpected, you know, at times. So we here now. I'm excited.
Robert Garcia's perspective brings us to the eternal boxing question. Does size matter more than skill? He wonders aloud if Canelo's physical strength and size advantage will overwhelm Crawford, or if Crawford's slick skills will neutralize it. Garcia also points to Canelo's recent performances, where he has stopped chasing knockouts and instead boxed more cautiously.
You know, go out there and do my thing and become the three-time undisputed champion of the world.
This insight is huge. Canelo's power has always been a selling point, but Garcia's remark that Canelo hasn't really gone for knockouts suggests a shift in his identity as a fighter. If Canelo is not actively seeking to finish his opponents, then he is relying on control, counters, and rounds won on the scorecards. Against a fighter like Crawford, who constantly adapts and builds momentum, that's dangerous.
Throws one punch at a time. So I think I think Canelo wins the fight, but I wouldn't be surprised if Crawford pulls off a decision because Crawford has great footwork, great skills, and great speed also.
Garcia's second statement goes even further. He critiques Canelo for being flat-footed, throwing single shots instead of combinations. In contrast, he praises Crawford's ability to unleash multi-punch combinations, use his footwork, and create angles that confuse opponents. This is a technical roadmap for how Crawford could win.
He could throw 2-3 punch combinations and move and probably confuse Canelo and maybe come out with a win with a decision.
The key here is activity. Canelo has slowed in recent years, conserving energy, fighting in bursts. Crawford, on the other hand, builds pressure steadily, switching stances, mixing attacks, and overwhelming fighters with variety.
Terence just rocked up there. What do you make of his chances against the man you worked with for many years?
Great chance. He have a great chance because of his heart, his talent, and also his game plan and his strategy. But Canelo is no pushover.
Bernard Hopkins brings a legendary voice into the discussion, one that understands risk and legacy more than most. He says Crawford has a great chance because of his heart, talent, and game plan, but stresses that Canelo is no pushover.
I've watched Canelo for multiple years. Again, the best is fighting the best. And Crawford dared to be great, and this is one of the ways you do it, and you tell the world.
This is classic Hopkins. Respect both fighters, but underline the courage of the one taking the lead. Daring to be great is the phrase he uses, and it matters because that's how history is written in boxing. After reviewing every perspective, from Danny Jacobs to Roy Jones Jr., from Andy Lee to Robert Garcia, and finally Bernard Hopkins, the theme is clear. Crawford has more ways to win. Canelo is strong, disciplined, and experienced, but he is also slowing, relying on spurts, and vulnerable to variety.